All right, this is Coach Business Builder, the whiteboard sessions. As you can see, I am here at my office. We're based in Richmond, Virginia, although our team is all around the US and Canada. But here's, so got a beautiful day out. Got our wall of curiosities over there. Our office is like on the river, and it's just so fun because you see every day the height of the river can change by like 20 feet sometimes. It's crazy. All right, my name is Steve Perkins. I'm the founder and CEO of Greenhouse Coaching, and we are a boutique coaching company that helps you grow the life you want. So we work with leaders, we work with people in career transition, we help companies create culture, and then we coach business owners, which is what I do here. And today we're talking about designing your perfect calendar, the calendar of freedom. And I call it that because I've been working for 10 plus years on dialing in my calendar, my rhythms, and how I manage my time. So I'm not just productive. It's not just about productivity. It's about freedom. It's about work facilitating the life that you want. If you're new to me or wondering like, who am I to talk about this stuff? Because I do a lot of consulting for big companies and small companies, at this point, I'm paid on average $20,000 a day to come speak and teach on this stuff. So I work with high-level executives and all the way down the chain on these kind of things. And I just want to like summarize and give you the best stuff here. And one of the beautiful things about growing a business is you get to decide and you get to design what your calendar looks like. So we're talking today primarily about calendar blocks and calendar batching. And that's because these are the two things that'll make the biggest impact on your time and your workflow. I'm all about boiling the ocean. Like, let's do the few things that make a big difference. You probably heard me talk about the 80-20 rule if you've watched any of these videos. Like I said, I've been refining this for 10 plus years. I went to University of Michigan to be a mechanical engineer and graduated university, started as an engineer, and right away started seeing like the way the workplace operates is just so flawed, and how come we're managing our time this way? So I started working on reading books and studying thought leaders and changing the way that I managed my time. Then I eventually moved into the Fortune 500 space. I worked at Capital One for about 8 years and continued that journey of figuring this out and refining this. And then I eventually left in 2017 to start this company. And on day one, I was like, I'm going to change how I manage my time. I'm going to change the calendar. Because the way it operated in the corporate world was just so misaligned with the way I want work and life to be. And maybe you can relate to that too as an entrepreneur. Maybe that's part of what motivated you to start your own business. But if we're not careful, we can build ourselves back into a jail cell by just continuing some of the bad habits we had before instead of redesigning how our calendar works. So we have to be intentional and kind of work against the current of society's way of managing time and rethink it. And so that's the idea of this video, is to give you some key ways to rethink it and restructure how you do your workflow. So in this video, we are going to cover the 3 calendar blocks and the 4 content batching rhythms. And you can start implementing them right as you watch this video. So let's dive in. Oh, and if you want to make sure you get these videos when they come out, get on my email club. There's a link in the description to sign up. And about once a week, I'll send out a video like this and let you know via email. There's also some other goodies. You don't want to miss it. So just go ahead, pause, sign up, and then come back. Here's a little of where I experienced this transformation. Like I said, I was in the corporate world. When I started this business, the main thing I was struggling with was business development. Because in the corporate world, you never have to sell. And here I am, and I have to get paying clients. Like, I've never done this before. And so I paid for programs like my own accelerator. I had mentors and coaches, read books. And I realized, okay, the problem with business development and sales is I know what to do now, but I struggle with the motivation to keep up with it every day. because it's a recurring task. It's not something you just like do once and then ta-da, you're good. You have to keep these rhythms going week in and week out. And so I really struggled first with motivation. Like, how do I actually keep this train chugging along? Because it's a lot. Second was I would finally create blocks on my calendar, like, all right, this is when I'm gonna do 10 outreaches every day, and this is when I'm gonna have coffee meetings with people. And then I would just break my own blocks and not stick to them. You can relate with that, I'm sure. Then there was this internal struggle of the guilt and shame of like, oh, I need to be productive. And if you've worked in the corporate world, you know exactly what I mean. There's this latent fear of like, if I'm not at my desk, heads down, cranking out emails 24/7, if my indicator isn't showing green all day that I'm online working, then I'm gonna get in trouble. And so there's this idea that like being productive means cranking through emails and going to meetings all day. In business, it couldn't be more opposite. We'll talk about it in a minute. Like, doing that kind of busy work is a surefire way to kill your business ASAP. So I had to ditch that, and I struggled with that for a while. So then on this journey, it's like, all right, well, there's a lot of things you have to do to grow a business, and I'm relying on my memory and my to-do list. And this is not good because I'm not going to remember everything to do. I'm not going to be able to crush my to-do list every day. And so I need a system that I can rely on instead. And so as I worked on that system, I realized like, okay, I would set the system. I'd be like, all right, Monday, time to do these things. And then I would start questioning my whole life. It was like, wait a minute, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right way to do it? Oh, I just saw that person's YouTube and like they said to do something different. And oh, this person's doing that. And I would question everything in doubt. And so this was, maybe you can relate to some of this. This is how I was struggling. And what it led to over years of refining it, testing and learning, but also then coaching other people, both business owners and corporate leaders, I started to realize the few things that really work. And I'm all about the 80-20 rule. 20% of the actions we take make 80% of the difference in our business. And so to work smarter, not harder, you have to figure out what are the 20% and how do I focus on those over and over and over and ignore everything else. Everything else is noise. So this is how we get to the freedom calendar. All right, let me go over these and then if you have questions about any of this or want me to spell something out more specifically, just comment right here and I'm always checking and I'll respond. All right, so the first thing is the 3 stress-free calendar blocks. I've got mini courses on this. I'll link it in the description that go into more detail. But here's the deal. First of all is the weekly. So the weekly is a block every Friday morning. It could be any time of the week. I like Fridays because then you can kind of plan for the next week, rest easy over the weekend, hit the ground running Monday. So in the weekly, it's like 1 or 2 hour block with yourself, appointment with yourself, where you're doing 3 things. You're listing down what were the wins and the learnings you had this week. Second, what is your main thing for the next week? That's like your top priority. If all else fails and blows up next week, what's the one thing you got to get done? And then third, when are you going to do it? And actually put a block on the calendar. So you have this weekly, every Friday morning with yourself. It's the most important meeting on your calendar. You never ditch it. If you have to reschedule it, move it somewhere else in the week. This ensures that you always know your priorities. You never wake up unsure what to focus on. And you are always getting the highest leverage stuff done before all the BS stuff that doesn't matter. Because again, in the corporate world, we were trained the opposite. Do a bunch of busy work, never focus on the priorities. So the second block is what we just said, deep work. And I like to do this Monday morning. So you have a deep work block on your calendar for Monday morning when you do the thing you said was your main thing. It's like, this isn't rocket science, people, but so few people do this. And so the other thing is, over time, you can get more deep work blocks. So now I have the first half of every day of my week is deep work. I'm not taking meetings, not responding to a bunch of emails. I'm not doing everyone else's agenda. I'm getting creative work and strategic work done for my business. And I'm telling you, like, if you're watching this video, this is gonna be your favorite time of the week. I mean, sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, I love my deep work blocks more than my weekends a lot of time because it's creative. It's really fun work. I'm building stuff. I'm like seeing an output, seeing a result. So deep work. All right, then the third block is to work with clients. So whether you have like a hybrid program, one-on-one clients, whatever your setup is, have blocks where you're working with clients. And so you can be really present and get in that mode and you're not switching context all the time. So for me, this is like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoons are usually when I will meet with clients and also when I could meet like other meetups. Then the 4 content batching rhythms. So this gets more specifically into content. Now I'll link the video at the end here where I talk about the stages of business. But if you're in stage 0 or 1, then you're focused primarily on networking and building relationships. You can get to your first 100K and beyond just off of coffee meetings alone. But if you're kind of coming out of stage 1 into stage 2 or at stage 3, then you're scaling through content. You need to have a system or else, man, you are gonna die on the hamster wheel because it can feel like I constantly have to record something and post something and edit something and you need a system where like once a week I can get into this mode, get it done, and the rest of the week be present, be free, not be chained to the content. So here is a great way to approach it and kind of adapt it for your situation. Quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. All right, so the first batch is quarterly. On a quarterly basis, I have a full day where I do strategic planning for this following quarter. This is a great length of time because 3 months, you can kind of plan out 3 months, but it's not too much. Like a year is too much planning and then things change. So every quarter, plan for the next 3 months, looking at vision, intentions, what are my goals, and then I can also look at what events are on the calendar and what promotions do I want to do. So like for me, with the Business Builder Accelerator, I know that, all right, I'm speaking at a big conference coming up next month in Vegas. So at that event, I want to be prepared to tell people about my program and to be able to hand out materials, whatever I need. Maybe there's an event when I want to film myself and then be able to use that for content. So these kind of things take a little more planning and it's good to know in advance what's coming up and build it into your weeks. But then also promotions. So like for my accelerator, usually once a month, I open it to new people. And so I need to look and schedule out on the calendar, like, all right, if I'm opening it on November 17th, I actually have to start promoting it on the 10th. That means I have to make those promotion materials probably like end of October. And that way I don't feel like I'm chasing behind. So that's quarterly. Then monthly, this is when I take my content calendar, and this is one of the many tools that I give my clients in the accelerator is a content calendar. And so what you do is on a monthly basis, fill it out. And I'm filling it out for what types of posts do I need, what modalities, how are they showing up on the platforms, what's the title, what's the hook, and what's the actual piece of content. Now, when I go to create content, I don't have to sit there and like be in planning mode and question what to make. It's already decided. I decided it once for the whole month. And so you fill out your content calendar, and then I have a different day when I'm filming or writing those posts and those videos. So like right now, this is a day where all today I am filming these videos. So I can be in this mode, I can be present. I'm not like worried about others fires to fight. Then on a weekly basis, I'm going to make a YouTube video, a long form video, and edit short form posts. And if you have an editor, maybe that stage doesn't matter exactly when it happens, but weekly would be a good cadence. Then daily, I'm thinking about it in morning and afternoon. Morning, every day, short chunk of time, I'm engaging on socials and tracking. If you don't have a rhythm of tracking, then you're not a real business. Like, you gotta actually track. And so if I expect for that to happen like in the middle of the day, things pop up and I don't get to it. And so what's great is to do engagement and tracking every morning. It's done for the day, don't have to worry. You know what I mean? So then in the afternoon, post an Instagram story, keeping current with what you're up to, what you're thinking, what you're doing. Kind of depends on your approach, but typically an Instagram story is good for that. So what's a mindset around all this? You've got your 3 blocks, you've got your 4 batching rhythms. I like this. I don't remember where this quote came from. I can't take credit, but create in the morning, consume at night. This is gold, because when you think about it, your brain cells regenerate while you sleep. You wake up and you're your freshest self. I mean, I'm 40 right now. When I was in my 20s, I was like, I can crank through the night and do so much work, until like 3 a.m. But as I got older, I realized, no, this is actually true. Your best brain is in the morning, so you're gonna be most productive. It's the best to be able to create because you're using more brain juices. And then in the afternoon or evening, that's a great time to consume when you wanna watch something, read something, take in. It doesn't use as much brain power. Create in the AM, consume in the PM. All right, if you find this helpful, this is the kind of stuff, man. This is what we do in the Business Builder Accelerator. It's an amazing program, really fun group of people where we build your business together. We do quarterly planning together. You get all your questions answered, so it's kind of like a shortcut if you're feeling unsure, like, ooh, should I do this or that? It's like, boom, I'll get you an answer right away. But you're alongside other people getting to that next revenue goal much quicker. And then occasionally we do in-person meetups as well and have fun retreats. So if this is the right time for you to take that step, you want to get your business to the next, usually I say the next 20K a month revenue goal. So if you're at 0, getting to 20. If you're already past 20, maybe it's getting to 40 or 60, or maybe even getting to 100K a month, then go over on Instagram. Handle is in the description. It's Coach Business Builder. And DM me the word grow20. What that does is triggers an automation to send you all the information about what it looks like to be in the accelerator and other ways that you can work with me. All right, so like I said, I'll link that video here that talks about the different stages of business growth. It starts off talking about my trust cycle and how to win on content. And then toward the end, it talks about the 4 stages of business.